Good morning, everybody. This is Thor Young with Bear Bull Traders, and I'd like to do a recap on my trades for you today. Today I traded KR and Oracle. Both of them had some catalysts, good news, earnings, various scenarios, but we're all on the watch list. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Carlos. The information this morning, as always, insanely valuable. I had a couple of really solid trades on Oracle. One resulted in a stop out. One is still running a little bit right now, but we'll see what happens before the end of this recap. And the other is on KR, and I'm actually pretty happy about KR, only because I want to show you why I exited KR and how that really might have saved me a lot and why it's important to manage your trades. So here on KR, you'll see here in the morning, let me back up a little bit. On the 5-minute, KR came up, did its opening range at 9:30, 9:35, came up, settled here, and then broke, made a new high. So I went long. Pretty standard play here. Just bought the break of the opening range, and then I covered a little here. It made a nice little ABCD pattern on the 1-minute. Let me zoom in a little bit on the 1-minute. You can see here it actually made an ascending triangle in this ABC. It actually touched 1 time, 2 times, and then 3 times it pulled back, and I added in. And then it popped through, and I covered some here, and I covered some here. And was looking pretty good. So just hanging on to it at this point. Decided not to do any add-ins because I was well into this position already and I didn't want to risk any. And I set an order out at 80 so that I would get filled here at the kind of near this high area here. And I actually got a nice fill on there. But then I started paying attention to the price action, and if you looked over here on the montage, just tons of orders really started to fill up to the downside, like crazy orders. And then I noticed that we kind of had this price level of 26.35, but I noticed it just hit this insanely weak volume, and then everything got really small, averages got really tight and started pressing down. I couldn't tell which direction this was going to go anymore. And then I decided to go ahead and go all out of the position at 26, it was 26.50. And then it held for just a second. Then I think some news came out on the company, and that must have been what this was. I didn't know there was a talk going on, but people were waiting during that talk to find out what was going on. And then it just smashed down after that. So if I'd have had a market order, my stop out probably would have been like a break of like 26.31. So, but I managed to capture an extra 20 cents I definitely would not have gotten had that have happened. So anyway, let me pop over to Oracle real quick before this thing gets too long. Oracle also seems to be just came down and actually just stopped me out. It was a really good trade. I made almost $250 on Oracle alone just between these two trades. That KC trade I showed you netted me about 150. So up well over my daily goal today. So pretty excited about that. So Oracle came down, had a nice sell-off in the morning. It was a beautiful short. I was actually calling Oracle out for a short in the chat room, but I was already in another position, so I didn't want to take it at the time because I wasn't really ready to manage 2 positions yet. And then Oracle broke through, came down, and then it bottomed at 52.90 and started pushing up. Came up above the averages. This is one of the indicators that I like to use quite a bit right here. Let me get my pen here so I can show you. All right, pull it over here. This candle right here. So basically what happens, and why I like that candle so much, is you have a moment where it pushes up and then it comes back down and then it makes another big engulfing candle that breaks through these previous highs. Now, I talk about ascending triangles. It kind of puts that pattern out a little bit, but this is a little bit different of a take. It's not a perfect triangle, but it has a similar thing. We get this bottom here, pushes up, big engulfing pattern. So I'm figuring we're going to have a break to VWAP. It's holding this average, and then I get in here, so I went long just above this average. Break would have been the break of the averages. So it was a real tight 5-cent stop. Got a nice pop up to VWAP. On these breakouts, when I take them, if it comes back below my stop, I generically always jump out at break even. Because breakouts obviously can kind of turn around and go the other direction sometimes. So it's important once you get into it, I generically like to adjust my stop out just to my break even. Because generically, if it comes back through that price level, it doesn't stop there and go back up. It comes through and goes down for a little while. So it stopped me out. I actually still managed to squeeze, this was about $50 of my 250 I made on Oracle. It managed to still squeeze $50 out of this trade. And then I noticed when it found its bottom this time, it could not make it all the way back down to the earlier low of 52.90. It could only make it down to 53.10, which is a significant difference. So that actually shows a double bottom there and some upward pressure. So as soon as it did that, I was really keeping my eye on it. And then you'll see here, my favorite pattern should appear right here at 53.36. It came up on the 1 minute. It touched one time, it touched two times, it touched three times and pulled back. I actually threw an order here, but it filled right at the break, and then it popped up, and I took partials up into VWAP, and then above that all the way up, and I still have, actually I do not, I had an order sitting up here at 54.50 to get me out, and my stop out was the re-break of VWAP. So, which still locked me in at well above my daily goal. I actually normally would have held this a little bit further to the break of this 53.50 just because of the psychological number. I really think those hold really true. But there was a specific, I don't want to trade anymore today. There was a very specific P&L in mind here. I wanted to make sure I stayed above $350 for the day. So, and I did. So I hope everybody enjoyed my recap here today. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I hope everyone is staying green.